What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is my discussion slash review for BEM episode 10. And I absolutely love this episode, man. I thought it was another phenomenal episode, and they done me so wrong this episode, man. They showed me Vega, aka the mystery woman behind the council, and I knew she was dangerous, and I knew she wasn't to be messed with. But dude, they completely obliterated any kind of facts I had about her, man. Because at one point I thought she was a completely behind the scenes person, and then towards the end of this episode, she completely demolished that theory because she came out and started handling stuff herself, and I did not expect her to be that strong. But let's dive into this episode, man. It picked up right after last week's episode, but this episode focused more on having the people in the city find out that Gavin is officially dead. But at the same time, man, they're blaming BEM, Bello, and Annabella for killing him. And we all know the truth that the council secretly killed this man. Like, they weren't trying to kill him, but in the process, him jumping in the way to save Bello, they are not upset about him being killed. But also this episode, we also found out that the crazy scientist guy that made all of these secret assassin people, pretty much, he doesn't work for the council, but they know what he does and they let him operate, and they use his creations and those other people whenever they see fit. That it's like a working kind of team up type thing that they got going on. They know who he is, and they just let him continue to operate as long as he supplies them with these assassin people that continues to kill people when they want people killed, which is so crazy, man. But we also learned a little bit about Sonya's life in this episode as well. We kind of got a miniature, it wasn't a flashback or anything, but a miniature backstory about her life, and telling that, you know, she felt some type of way because she grew up in Upper, and she always looked down on the outside because she was attacked from a man from the outside. And that'll kind of deter anybody's efforts on, like, well, now I don't really want to be bothered with them. I mean, someone from the outside attacked me. So I understand where she's coming from, but her meeting people like Gavin and the other council member that was killed, and meeting BEM, she had a change of perspective, especially since she got sent to outside. And I love that because now we kind of understand where she was coming from. The whole show, we never understood where she was really coming from, why she really kind of liked outside but hated it at the same time. But now we kind of understand where she was coming from. So we have her and BEM sharing a moment in the hotel room, and it was a nice moment, and he understood where she was coming from, and she kind of understood where he was coming from, because he told her that they want to be human, and they're not really called humanoid monsters. That's what the people called them. So they kind of got a better understanding of each other this episode, and I like that because I was starting to like Sonya a little bit. And this episode just made me like her a whole lot more. Then she came up with the brilliant idea of using her phone to get the truth out about BEM, Bello, and Annabella. But at the same time, her being a cop, did she not think that this was going to be one of those major things where, like, they could track her phone? Because they knew exactly where she was. And then we had they didn't know exactly where she was, but they were tracking her. And then we have the dude from the front desk calling it in and telling Felt exactly where she was. And Felt pulls up and starts shooting all of this gas and smoke and stuff, and there's innocent people there, and he just didn't care. The hotel manager tried to tell him he killed this dude. That's what I'm saying, man. The people of Upper, they can't be this oblivious to what's actually going on, man. All of these random people, well, not random people, but all of these mysterious people in power and everything that was doing all this nice, wonderful stuff, every time you turn around, someone ends up dead. Are you serious? There's no reason for you not to collect and put all of this together. Now, before I go on, because there was a nice moment with that, because he killed the bank manager, and then BEM saved Sonya and this couple that was there with their child. So he put them in the vehicle, and they drove off, and he let them escape. But before I get back to all of that, we got to talk about what happened at the beginning of this episode. I kind of brushed it off because I really wanted to dive into it, because it's something that just irritates me so. But that is Daryl coming in contact with Vega and finding out that she's 500 years old. She's a humanoid monster, but she was created from alchemy from this dude a long time ago. This story just got so much more deep. Everything else that we learned up to this was nice, but this goes way deeper than everything else that we learned in this entire show. She's 500 years old. She's immortal, just like Bim, Bella, and Annabella. No, I said that wrong. Bim, Bello, and Annabella. And her name is Vega. So I'm assuming she's like the original humanoid monster. But there's something about it, because her telling all of this and everything, and the reason she wants Bim. I talked to someone else about this, about the older show, because this show has been redone like twice, I think, already. And there was a lot going on with that. So I'm assuming what they told me may actually come into fruition. She wants Bim to help complete like a cycle, maybe to like sire some children or something. I honestly don't know, but that would be a nice aspect if so. But Daryl, man. Okay, she's telling all of this to Daryl, and Daryl comes and he tells her that he knows that the council runs the city and that she's the one behind the council. If you figured all of this out, and you know that the council killed your father, if you figured all of this out, why are you still trying to kill Bello? You just said that you knew the council killed your father. So why are you still chasing Bello, saying Bello killed your father? That makes no sense. But now the only smart thing that I had to say about Daryl this episode, and I enjoyed, is that he said if she was to kill him, he had all of his information about the council in her, ready to be released to the public, which was smart thinking. When you go in there and you're trying to, blackmail someone, that it's nice to have like something going, a plan or a second plan going on in motion, so you don't just get killed and then everything's ruined. But he also said that he wants to rule the city, and she's willing to give it to him because she wants Bim. That's all she wants. All she wants is Bim. Because then we get to the ending where Felt claims he kidnapped her, Sonya's parents, and we find out that they turned the chief into another one of these monsters, because that's where we saw the mad scientist guy working with the police, well, the council and the chief of police. Which is so, dude, this story is so intertwined and twisted up, man. It's so much corruption in this place that, and they call it upper. Can they really, dude, are you serious? It's so crazy, man. So then we see there's a fight between Bim and the police chief after he's turned into this monster, right? So then we have a whole full-blown fight, and then Vega shows up. She shows up with Harazi, the little girl from that one episode with the powers and everything. And what's her name? Vega comes and she's like completely demolishing Bim. Like Bim doesn't have a chance of fighting her. Like she used some kind of power and like wrapped him up and like put him in like a stasis mode, and he couldn't move at all. Bello and Annabella tried to save. She done the same thing to them, and Felt was like, madam. She didn't care about none of that. All she wanted was Bim. She unleashed a huge power and everything, and she transformed Bim into like a raging, rampaging monster and made him lose all sense of focus. But what was smart, all sense of focus, but he didn't lose it completely, because when Harazi went to attack him and unleashed a huge, massive explosion, Bim covered her so it wouldn't get out of hand. So what there's so much going on, man. So what I'm wondering is, why does she really want Bim? But then we have this whole episode where Bello was like, I still don't trust Sonya, and he was mad at Bim for trusting Sonya and everything. Man, this whole show, every time I told you guys, every time they answered something, they always leave you wanting more, man. So, cause I got my answers this episode, but then they left me wanting more in the back half of this episode about Vega, why she wanted Bim, what's going to happen with Daryl, and everything else, and how Harazi is completely bamboozled by this lady. So there's so much going on, man. Every time your questions get answered, then they throw more questions to mess you all up. But I absolutely love this show, man. And if you're not watching it, you definitely got to watch it. Tell everyone you know to watch this show, because it is actually a really great show, man. This is your boy, Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe. But only if you really want to, man. And remember, the anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.